We're snorting cap rates and shooting up cash flow here at Deal Junkies. Welcome back to Deal Junkies. Paul about fell out of his chair on that one. I'm Gabe here with Mike and Trevor. We got Paul back in the studio. We're excited. We're gonna make Paul get grounded. Our pineal glands are all lit up. We're gonna get in our bodies. We're gonna be in our feet, and we're gonna talk about real estate deals because this is a real estate podcast after all.
Paul, I want you to tell us about the deal that gave you the biggest hit.
Define hit. Money, energy,
most amount
depression.
Of money.
Okay, the way I do deals, back to inflation, I just get my name on real estate. So when I close on them, they don't give me a hit.
Tell me the deal when you bought it, how long you had to wait to get that hit, and then what the hit looked like and what you did in the interim.
Albany Meadows,
Churchill. These are both 127 unit apartment complexes.
What year you buy them?
You didn't get a hit until you bought a 127 unit complex?
Biggest hit.
Biggest hit. It's all relative, isn't it?
Both of them, Albany Meadows, I gave about $5 million for.
As your down payment or total price?
Total price. Churchill, I gave $6 million for.
How'd you buy them? You bought Albany Seller Kerley, right?
Yeah. And the bank loaned me money for the down payment and the construction.
Nice.
100% financing. The one in Eugene, Churchill, I had about 6 or 7 different loans on it with my brother. But those $5 million properties went to $10 million. I refinanced, paid them off. Then they went to $15 million. And right now they're both worth about $25 million. And
$250 a door?
about
225,
just shy of 200 probably. Yeah.
Well, I have appraisals at $25 million. The last round when the economy was stronger.
Yeah, 127. It's not 100.
So I would take out $2, $3, $4 million. I'm in the process right now of, I got a loan coming. I'm doing a loan with Fannie Mae on 57 units. They're little plexes around town. There's 5 of them that Fannie Mae let me put together that I gave maybe $100,000 a door for, but I'm going to put $4.5 million in about 3 months in my pocket. So the biggest hits, well, as you get farther into this inflation, they just seem to grow.
Which one gave you a bigger hit? What's the biggest hit you ever put? What's the biggest check you ever stuck in your bank account from a refi?
Oh, $3-4 million.
I remember you did a couple of them back to back, and you did 10 or 11 million in 1 month.
Well, I think that's true. Okay,
he doesn't even remember.
Okay, guys, the problem is I don't remember. There is something about these hits, and you're in real estate, and you are a deal junkie. The money's, you know the money's coming, and you got it spent before you get it. I don't know what there is about it or how that works, but it's always gone before I get it.
How do you spend $10 million in a month, though, is what I want to know.
Well, I knew it was coming, so I had 4, 5, or 6 months to plan and be looking for other deals.
Oh, you're putting it in other deals.
So I'm lining up all these other deals, so when the money comes in, you just wait for me.
Escrow creates escrow. You open one escrow, you close it, you open another and close. You just keep opening escrow and closing escrow.
So when you say money flows through your hands and you don't keep it, you're not really doing this for money. You're doing this for real estate. Like if you were doing this to hold the money, at one point you would have kept $10 million in your bank account and just said, okay, I'm cool. I'll leave $10 million in my bank account.
Okay, I'm a deal junkie. I got a screw loose. And when I look back on it, and I'm getting older, there comes a point where I got to start doing that, paying off debt.
You know how long you've been telling me that? I think it was like the first week I met you, you told me you were going to do that.
But if we have inflation, you don't need to pay off debt. It does it for you.
Yes.
How do you, as you're taking your refis, how are you deciding how much you hold to live off of, or how much you set aside to live off of versus how much you reinvest in real estate?
Mike, I can see you doing that. I'm not that
Are you kidding me? You don't know me at all.
I just invested in real estate and have a little bit of a little pocket of money in the bank, and I move on planning, and I spend all my money planning on the next hit.
Yeah, so you just keep your bank account low, your personal bank account low all the time.
I know this sounds crazy. I don't even believe in money.
No, I the same way.
I believe in cash today, but I don't really believe in money. I don't believe in the value of money. Long-term money doesn't mean anything.
But wealth does.
Yes. There's a difference between money
wealth
and wealth.
And money. Yeah.
And that's why you don't stack your bank account with cash. You stack your balance sheet with assets.
Yeah.
And debt.
But you need to have cash to operate and live.
Today, yes.
Well, you think of it this way: if you think about it from a balance sheet standpoint, if you're not using debt, your balance sheet only grows so fast, right? You're getting cash, you're buying it doesn't change your balance sheet at all. But when you take debt and the asset, they bring up both sides of the balance sheet.
Supercharges it.
They supercharge it. So that's why you have to have the debt to create a bigger balance sheet to create.
Because otherwise,
wealth.
you're just reallocating from cash to equity.
Exactly. It doesn't. It's
so you have to use the debt to boost it, and then you got to hope for inflation so that it all takes off.
And so the only way to grow your balance sheet is to grow your cash. And then change the cash into real estate.
This is Warren Buffett's snowball.
Cash. Yeah.
This is compounding interest.
Yes. I'm so glad you got into that.
You haven't built your portfolio really. You don't do many 1031s, correct?
Inflation. I buy and hold and just let the values increase.
He's typically not 1031ing. He's typically just taking refis, doing
more.
Burr. He's just the Burr. He's like the original Burr guy. He didn't even know what Burr was, and he was out there doing it.
You refi, it's all tax free. This 1031, you got to carry your basis for all this foo-foo accounting, got to hire accountants. I don't do any of that. I just refinance, it's all tax free, and then I go leverage into another property.
So because you never sell, you just have your basis, you just have a zero basis now in everything you own, and you depreciate.
You can never sell now.
Well, no.
You can sell an owner carries, but
I
liquidating, you can't liquidate.
I can.
Without debt. Debt's the only way to liquidate.
He's got a lot of depreciation.
Okay, this is another tangent. If you go to an accountant and they give you this song and dance about all the depreciation you take up front, I don't do that. I spread out my depreciation. I do straight line depreciation for 50 or 60 years. I don't pay I pay every tax there is except for income tax. I'm a real estate guy. 20% of my operating expenses are property taxes. I have enough operating losses that I don't pay income tax. So what I do with my basis is just quietly spread it out. So when an IRS auditor sees my tax return and they look at my conservative real estate schedule, I don't get audited either, and I have all these losses. Also, I'm in it for the long haul. You manage different. You take better care of them. You put money into them. So I'm always improving the value of these. Every 15 years or so, you got to rebuild the damn property. They wear out. You got to rebuild them. So I'm increasing my basis with capital expenditures. Mm-hmm. So I have good high basis. I really honestly do.
So you have instead of accelerating your depreciation schedule, you decelerate your depreciation schedule to a 60-year schedule, and then you're continually doing CapEx, which is raising your basis in those proproperties.
Yes.
So you always have the depreciation.
It's the exact opposite of what everybody else does. It's the exact opposite of what the accountants tell you. By gosh, I'm a hands-on owner, and I got to live or fall with these numbers. By the way, you take all that depreciation up front, and then you sell the property, and then you got all this.
It's fake. It's not real.
You got all this capital gains.
Sell deals on depreciation. If you're buying deals for depreciation, you don't know what a good deal is.
I'm about to buy a deal for depreciation.
Because you're stupid.
Would you not do this? So you buy the deal.
You're not buying it for depreciation then.
Well, there's no money that goes into the deal. You also have no cash flow, but you get 8-year debt.
Yeah, I do not like that, because if you sell it and you have to sell it and you're going to have to recapture that depreciation.
I think I would do this deal 100% of the time.
How come you're not getting depreciation?
No, I would. That's all we're getting. There's no cash flow. We're just buying it with no money and then taking depreciation.
So as long as you have fixed debt for 8 years and you can depreciate it down, you can amortize it down to a point where you can refinance it out. Maybe. Sure.
Gabe, what would you do?
I mean, I don't know what the exit plan is.
And don't you have cash flow in the middle of that?
Insignificant.
A little bit.
Not the way this guy buys real estate.
Insignificant.
Yeah.
That's the way I did it.
So, but going to your tax returns, conservative real estate schedule. So your tax return, just every year, you don't remove properties from your real estate schedule. You just add to it and add to it and add to it and add to it. And so a conservative level of depreciation across an asset base that's growing and growing and growing. You mentioned you don't get audit because it is a pretty low risk way to do it. You look at my real estate schedule, adding, subtracting this and that and entities here, and it's completely different. It's easy. It's actually pretty easy when you look at that. You're just using debt. Your basis is really simple. You don't have a bunch of inside and outside basis. You don't have 1031 basis. You have some of it, but
My business model is so incredibly simple,
Yeah.
it's embarrassing.
it's It's big, but it's not sophisticated in that aspect.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
He just hoarded real estate
Mm-hmm.
for 45 years.
And just a smart way to do it.
Can you believe my tax return has 28 LLCs on it?
I thought you'd have more.
I'm surprised it doesn't have more.
Can you believe that he does his own taxes?
Yeah. He's crazy enough to do that.
And they're all done by January 2nd.
Yeah, but he probably has a bookkeeper who keep everything.
No,
tight
he
for
does
him.
it all. He's
You do
work
you don't
all
do
year
the
long. That's what all year long he's working on them. He loves
Are
it.
you a bookkeeper? Is that just what you do, is bookkeeping?
That's what he geeks out on. We're geeking out on the economy and the Fed. He's geeking out on his tax return.
Dude, no wonder you got to do 3 hours of Qigong in the morning if you're doing bookkeeping all day long. Dude.
If you're running at 11% vacancy,
Don't remind me.
how come you don't just hand your portfolio over to Gabe and have him solve the problem?
This episode's brought to you by SMI Property Management. We run at 3.87% vacancy. Oh, hi, Paul. Would you like me to run your properties for you, too?
Gabe,
I'll keep your staff. I'll keep your staff. I'll take care of them.
Somehow I don't believe that. If I believed that, I probably would do that
What do you mean you don't believe it? I'll show you my portfolio.
and go ride my horsey.
You know, you could do that, but you don't want to do that. That's why you don't do it, because you really like this stuff. You don't want to go ride your horsey.
If you really have a 4% vacancy and I have 11% vacancy,
That means I'm a better manager than you. Just want to point that out real quick.
and I got good people, I really have the business.
Hey, I'm not going to put any gold flake in your units when I turn them, though, okay? We're just going to use normal paint.
Oh,
Well, because if you're operating at 11 and the average across the state is like 5, right? Or so?
is the average really? I don't believe. Well, I'm in Salem, and Salem has the worst market around. We're overbuilt in Salem. We're in a state town.
Hey, that's not positive energy. What are you doing right now? You just got all dark. The flowers are all wilting around you right now, Paul.
So our biggest piece of shit runs at like 8.
The market in Salem is at about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Conservatively. Now, Paul, to his defense, he's counting like he's got office spaces in there.
Oh, okay,
he's got parking spaces, storage units.
Gotcha.
He's got things that are.
Oh, your storage alone wasn't
His
it?
total macro
That makes
vacancy
more
is
sense.
11. But if you really back out his turns that are happening,
Just
if you
multifamily.
Just look at what's on the market today in multifamily. It's probably a lot less than 11,
Okay.
but it's not 3.87.
Someone convinced him to get distracted and go buy other asset types. How do you like that, Paul?
Oh, that was him who got distracted.
He wanted to own Raiders.
I'm not taking
He wanted to
responsibility
eat
for
lunch
this.
in
I
his
said,
own
I'll
building.
sell you these buildings if you want them. Are you sure you want office buildings?
Couldn't find apartments, and this was something different.
Yeah, low yield environment.
A new
People pay
challenge.
too much.
A new challenge.
Yeah.
In the 2020s, apartments could turn into cash in about 8 seconds. And so nobody wanted to carry and nobody wanted to do leverage deals and all this stuff. Everybody was like, why would I do that when I can just put it on the market and sell it in 2 seconds?
So they weren't buying office buildings. So, well, hey, that'd be kind of fun.
So what are you doing right now? Are you looking at deals now? Are you buying stuff right now? Are you prepping for a refi to open another escrow for acquisition?
I am just right now. I'm just hanging on, and I'm trying to regroup. I got some ranches that I'm putting a bunch of money into to bring them up, and you can't do that the way you do apartments. with apartments, you put money into it, you increase the rents. These ranches, you can't increase the income that quick. So I'm parking a bunch of money in ranches that I don't believe in parking money, but here I am.
Is it like a development play where
No.
you 3 years down the road the income comes?
Yeah, and it's kind of fun ranching.
Farming is
So-
just borrowing money with no income until one day you sell some cows or something and you get some money.
Well, so you have a big event coming in July, right? Is that a public event? Like people buy tickets to it?
It's free. Just come see it.
Well, tell everyone what it is if they want to come see your ranch and you got 250 horses coming or something.
I am creating the premier horse show facility in all of Oregon. If you've seen Yellowstone, John Dutton went to save his ranch by bringing in these high-end fancy pants horses that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. I have created this horse show facility with custom arena to track those high-end horses. And July, the last weekend of July, there's 262 of those horses coming in. Everybody with a horse is rich. You cannot believe the money and the people that I'm getting exposed to.
Like
and
Phil,
it's so
Phil,
much
Phil
fun.
Knight, Mike. You want Phil Knight on the show?
He'll be there?
Paul's going to meet Phil Knight one of these days. And
Well,
he's going to tell him we want to have him on Deal Junkies.
What's
His wife Penny is into these cutting horses, lives just down the road from us. Some of her people are working with us.
If people want to attend this and they like horses,
Just show
what do
up.
they? Well, what do they? How do they find it? Where do
Kerley
they look
Horse
it up?
Center. Look it up on Facebook.
Google it. Facebook.
Kerley Horse Center.
Okay.
Hey, you guys show up. It'd be fun to show you around. It's kind of a dream.
It's in
kinda
July.
crazy.
Go play some golf.
I'm
And
going
you
to
can play
Egypt.
golf.
Yeah, go play golf with
What,
Phil
what,
at
what
Brasada
date?
Ranch.
What date?
The last weekend,
Oh, I'll
July
be back.
29th, August 1st, and so.
Okay.
This is amazing. This is in Paul's backyard. The largest equestrian center in Oregon is in literally it's in his backyard.
I live on a house just.
It's ridiculous.
It is
What-
ridiculous.
what-
It's soaking
It
up.
may have a little ego to it, a little bit.
Yeah, this one's ego.
A little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit. Or you could say it's passion. You know, it's not income related.
I like
it's not
that
an
word. It's
investment. This is
passion.
passion. This is a dream come true.
Not
You
ego.
worked for decades, so that way you could make really bad financial decisions on a dream.
Thank you for saying that. I agree with you, Mike, that it is a bad financial.
I hate you, Mike.
Hey, bad financial decisions is a vacuum statement that can change 5 years from now. And you could look back and go, wow, that was the best decision ever.
And you know, honest to guys, you can tell by my story, I've been living on the edge my whole career, and it's time to kind of enjoy it. And this is just fun in its own way.
So you say we should delay our gratification until we're 75, and then we should just go out and start buying crazy stuff and having fun. That's
You
your
would buy,
that's your advice.
you would buy cars.
Yeah, I couldn't spend that much money on cars. I'd have to start the whole new brothers car collection to be like you, Paul.
Paul, a lot of people listen to this that don't really own real estate or are just getting started. If you were to give people like that advice, what would you tell them?
How to start in real estate?
Yeah.
2 things. Start with the right mindset, and 2, develop a plan. There's as many approaches to real estate as there are people. Develop a plan that works for you. My plan, somehow, here's where the spiritual principle, this plan came to me of inflation and holding for the long term, and don't sell. Do your own plan. It's weird. When I'm in a deal and a banker comes to me with a real tedious question that he needs answered, that's life or death for my deal, it doesn't bother me to respond to this stupid question. But when I'm in a construction project and the city wants some kind of minute thing, it just pisses me off. So I don't do developing. I just do cash flow properties. I mean, that's what fits for my personality and my view of the world of life. And
So people think they don't have enough money to even get started and develop a plan.
that's where I was too. But I did start with a partnership with my brother-in-law, and he put in a few $1,000s, and I bought a little house. And I just inched it along off of my wife's money, and we bought a house, and it inflated a little bit, so I put it a second mortgage. You just inch it along, and it keeps building. Just start. Just do it. Phil Knight and his just do it thing, guy knows what he's talking about. Just inching along, and in time it just builds and builds and takes on a life of its own.
It's good advice. Inch it along.
And just every step, especially the way I do it, asset building, living off of inflation, living off of my wife, God bless her. Even though I divorced her, I still love her. You just do it. You just step by step.
We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, we gotta go to lunch.
All right. Deal Junkies, we love you. Paul, we love you. We couldn't get Phil Knight on the show, but we got his next door neighbor on the show, Paul Kerley. It's very rare that you get to listen to a podcast with a guy worth $200 million who owns $500 million in assets, sits here and tells us about how to be your own god and how to get in your body and how to stimulate your pineal gland and go waste a bunch of money on horse facilities. But you did it with us, Paul. We appreciate you for that. We love you. You are the Paul, I will say in all seriousness, has had the biggest impact in my life of any person that I've ever met. I've had many mentors in my life, but Paul, in all seriousness, Paul has touched my life and so many other lives, and you don't even realize it because you're kind of a lone wolf, but somehow we met, came together, own a lot of real estate together, and now Paul's touching a whole lot of other lives through Trevor.
Thousands of people through Gabe's messaging they shared. He went and spoke at Mike's event. He spoke on the spiritual principles of real estate, and he shared everything you've taught him through story in front of this crowd, and then all these people took him to lunch afterwards.
Did he say he was God?
No, actually what I said is, sorry Paul can't be here. He's on the toilet right now.
I was too, by the way. God's going down the drain.
That's Montezuma. That's my God.
All right, Deal Junkies, we love you. Please like us, share us, subscribe, and we will see you next time.